Howdy, howdy. Welcome on into the pre-show before the free show, where we have a
Whoa!
pair of Gregs
Greg's
in different
on
colored
parade.
DCTF polos.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into the pre-show before the free show. We are your home for instant reaction to the news that John Daniels has been relieved of his duties as president of baseball operations of the Texas Rangers, ending a 17-year stint. 2006 he took over. I don't think there's any question that he is the finest, the best executive that the Texas Rangers have ever had. Like, he was the baseball history is like 28, yeah. And he, I mean, look, that's not really like essentially what I'm doing. I'm just arguing from a position of statistics. I mean, the Rangers without John Daniels have like a 467 win percentage. With John Daniels, it's around 500. Okay. Without John Daniels, in 44 years, they had 3 playoff appearances. With John Daniels, in 17 years, they had 5 playoff appearances. Without John Daniels, in 44 years, they had no American League pennants. With John Daniels, in 17 years, they had 2.
So you're not liking the move very much.
No. No. So I don't know. Well, look, I don't know.
Powers, I don't think your mic is working.
I'm doing to switch mics.
Yeah.
Grab that mic.
Can you grab that
Plug
one?
it in. Is it the cord or is it the mic?
I don't know.
Is it going great? It's not that I don't like the move because I'm not on the inside, and obviously Ray Davis
There should be a little thing on the
is
bottom.
calling the shots. You got that?
This is why this is the pre-show.
We're a professional internet show. Oh my gosh, I'll do it.
Got it.
So it's not that I don't like the move. I don't like. It's possible that like it's just run its course, and that he he doesn't get along with ownership. I think obviously ownership, they're the trio of owners. Go and try that.
Test.
I think we got him.
That better?
Man, you guys missed all my scintillating Texas Rangers commentary.
It's not that I don't agree with it, but I just don't like what I will not tolerate is like John Daniels slander. It's like, oh no, actually this guy sucks. It's like no, he's like overseen the greatest like tenure in this franchise's history by a pretty considerable margin. And I don't know.
So now I hear celebrate what he's done. Look forward to the future.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I think that is the key. And by the way, this whole conversation about John Daniels is very different if Ron Washington puts Andy Chavez in right field in 2011. Like if he just subs him in the ninth inning as a defensive replacement. Like literally, this whole thing's different. Like I'm not saying he doesn't get fired. Maybe he does eventually. But like this dialogue about him, kind of. I mean, honestly, it's like the dialogue about Nelson Cruz. Like Nelson Cruz is an incredible baseball player, but like the dialogue around him is based on one play in 2011.
Yeah.
A lot of lives changed at that moment, and certainly I would say the narrative around John Daniels has changed. So. I don't know. I think John Daniels should be celebrated. I think John Daniels should go in the Rangers Hall of Fame at some point. I think he was a remarkable GM and eventually president of baseball operations.
That's an interesting point too. Will he be in the Hall?
He absolutely should. He absolutely should. He's one of the most important figures in Rangers history. Like that's not really like he was the guy like. First of all, I just don't know why people don't like John Daniels. I think it's because he's kind of young and he was kind of young. Now he's old, I suppose. But he's like Ivy League educated and he's, that kind of thing. But if you liked Cliff Lee, he was the one who made that deal. If you liked Adrian Beltre, he was the guy who made that deal. Like, I don't know. I don't understand the John Daniels slander, and I won't hear it. I think John Daniels is one of the most important executives in Rangers history, and I don't think really any doubt the most successful executive.
Heading into this season, what were your expectations? I follow the Rangers because I live in Dallas. Everybody that watches this knows I'm a Reds fan.
Go Reds.
But I didn't think the Rangers were going
to
win the division this year.
The Rangers are doing about...
Yeah, that would have been naive.
The Rangers are doing about maybe like 2% worse than I thought they were going to. But a lot of that can be chalked up to, hello, welcome to our baseball show. A lot of that can be chalked up to the fact that they have been terrible in one-run games. Terrible. Their run differential this year is like -6.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Last year is minus 190. Like, they have been clearly significantly better, but like around the margins, they have just like failed. Like the back end of their bullpen has been a problem and things like that.
Newsflash: the American League this year is loaded.
Oh,
like,
well, that's the thing.
It's amazing.
It was never going to happen for them regardless. Like, they were never going to win the division. The Astros were always going to win the division. They were never going to, like, you know, who's in. I mean, I guess the. Let me look at this. I mean, the Orioles I know are in there in the wild card race. So as far as the wild card standings in the American League right now. It is it's Seattle, Tampa, and Toronto are right now, and they are Toronto is 61-54. The Rangers are 52-64. They're only 9.5. I mean, it's silly to say. They're only 9.5 games out of the playoffs. Like, now there's 5 teams in front of them, but you know that to me
it's not unrealistic
it's
to
not
even think that they get back into the picture.
Yeah, their Pythagorean their run differential is -5. -5. That is better than Boston, who's ahead of them, and better than the White Sox, who are ahead of them. Like, Baltimore's +11, and they are 9 games up on the Rangers. So a lot of this has been, like, if you dig into the numbers, the Rangers have been, like, clearly better. But, like, anybody who thought this was a contending team, I think is, like, you know, I think they were kidding themselves. But I think this is the money people there who built the new stadium saying, we don't think we're getting our return on investment, so we're going to clean the house. Anyway, go Rangers. Hit the theme expo. Pickle! Hit the air sign. Yes, y'all. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Lewisville, Texas, it is Texas Football Today, a show on the internet. My name's Greg Tepper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football magazine, texasfootball.com, a corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us, whether you're watching us live on texasfootball.com, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, on Twitter, all of the places, or you listen to us on the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part to support local, mediocre internet show. I'm sitting over there at the helm today, making us sound good. She is the Duchess of the Dorks, the executive producer of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. She's Ashley Pickle.
Hi,
Hello,
friends.
Ashley Pickle.
Hello.
And sitting to my right, he is the recruiting analyst for Dave Campbell's Texas Football from Next Level Athlete. It's the great Greg Powers. This is the second time I've seen you in like 12 hours.
Yeah.
What a treat. What a delight.
Awesome. Happy to be here. Happy to see you guys.
It's a treat. Like, I don't know. I mean that like genuinely.
It was very condescending. It was
I mean that
What a treat.
authentically. It is a genuine treat to see you twice in 18 hours.
Greg Powers, a man who had 4 cheeseburgers last night.
Did you really?
Did you eat 4 In-N-Out cheeseburgers? Oh my gosh.
God, I admire
They were
you.
double meat cheeseburger animal style too.
I only had the singles.
Oh, I had 2 patties
Because I
on
put them
mine.
together, I made 2 doubles.
Okay.
Wait,
So
okay.
technically, I didn't have a full 4.
So,
Okay,
but you had
so
2 double burgers.
You ate 2 hamburger buns and 4 hamburger patties.
Yes.
Okay, so you ate 2 doubles.
Yep, 2 doubles.
Still a lot.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
I
were,
was-
dude, it was really good though.
For those that are listening, we had a parents' guide to recruiting event last night in Frisco, and it, by the time we got done talking to the parents, it was pushing 8:30. I was pretty hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was pretty hungry, and our boss Adam had a box of burgers. And he's like, "Hey, you want this box of burgers?" I was like, "Yes."
Mm-hmm. That's
Yes, I do.
Smart man. Today is Wednesday, August 17th, 2022. 99 days until Thanksgiving. Happy birthday to, I don't know. Oh, Kevin Rowland from Dexy's Midnight Runners. Happy birthday to the lead singer of Dexy's Midnight Runners. He turned 69 today.
Nice.
Episode 1437. On today's show, folks, we got This Week in Recruiting with our friend Greg Powers, the Next Level Athlete, all things recruiting across the state of Texas. In the back half of the show, Powers caught up with the recruiting coordinator for Mesquite Horn, Larry Wheeler. We'll hear about what's going on with those Jaguars on the recruiting trail coming up here at the back half of the program. But first, do we have first four through the door?
We sure do. I clicked on the wrong tab. Sorry. It was. Oh gosh, I lost it. Tony Blaylock, 03 bodied stepside, Rob Hadaway, and Miss Terry Adams. Welcome in, fellas and lady fellas.
Welcome in, friends. You ready?
Let's do it.
I'm Greg Tepper. That's Greg Powers. This is This Week
in Cruton.
I think the table shook. This is This Week in Recruiting.
We got his mic fixed, if
with
you were
Greg
wondering.
Powers, the Next Level Athlete. Follow him on Twitter at GPowersScout. Follow Next Level Athlete on Twitter at Next Level D1. See his fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. And, of course, this is brought to you by our good chicken friends at Chicken Express. Chicken Express. I'm running out of great things.
Well,
We praised
I got a
every-
good one. I would have rather had Chicken Express than 4 burgers last night.
That's,
I can say that.
Yeah, the burgers were good, but Chicken Express would have been different.
Yeah, there's nothing that...
You know what? I will say that. You know something I appreciate about Chicken Express? You remember a couple years ago, and it's still kind of going on now, the big chicken sandwich thing? Everyone started going crazy about doing chicken sandwiches.
Mhm.
All these different restaurants started
Again,
doing chicken
this was like in the pandy, so we didn't have much else to be excited about.
Yeah, that was part. I think it started maybe right before, and then like the real heart of it was during.
And then it was
right?
like, oh my gosh, we can still go through a drive-through though with our
Right.
mask on. You know?
Exactly right. Exactly right. You know what I appreciate about Chicken Express?
They didn't buy into it.
They're like, we're gonna do what we do.
We do tindies.
And
us.
Newsflash, 2 strips, 2 strips, 1 roll. That is the best chicken sandwich anyway.
Yeah.
Like that.
I bet you could put some gravy on that
Oh,
too.
you dunk it in the gravy.
Ooh. Oh yeah, that's
Oh.
fair.
You dunk it
That's fair.
right in the
then
gravy.
it won't get soggy. It doesn't like have time
and
to
that's
sit.
just
Expert.
so like those people who that is how you have to hold the 2-strip roll to dunk
Yeah,
it in.
it's like the most wonderful Texas toast taco.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like dunk it in. It's great. I would rather they do like a Texas toast
I'm
taco.
always
than-
starving.
I'm
when
really
I-
hungry right
I
now.
always, seriously, after we get into
Like-
talk, I'm always starving.
if they were to advertise like a morning show, this would just be like we wouldn't be as excited about Chicken Express. But instead, we're like, let's talk tendies.
it's
Today,
noon.
let's get into This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, Next Level Athlete. Let's start with our prospect on the rise. Our prospect on the rise, let's go to Houston. Talk about the Houston West Side's 2023 defensive tackle, Jaden Gaines, who had some offers coming into the week from places like North Texas, Sam Houston, Marshall, Wyoming, etc. Picked up a pretty big P5 offer from Oregon State this week, and you have to imagine that might get the ball rolling on what is a pretty talented and big-bodied defensive tackle there in Houston.
I really like him. I think he's a guy that's really going to push into the 300-pound range. He has good size, 6'2", 6'3". Had a P5 offer from Washington State, and when that school made his top 5, I think maybe that was assigned to a school like Oregon State. It's like, hey, he's thinking about possibly coming to the Pacific Northwest. That's a school maybe we should get in the game there, and they did. And I think that there are a couple of in-state schools who want to land this guy. North Texas and Sam Houston are making really strong plays for him, have a serious chance of getting a commitment from him. Will it be too little too late from Oregon State since he already named his top 5? That'll remain to be seen. But certainly the cog in the middle of the Houston West Side defense and a guy who's in line for a big senior year there.
Yeah, you would have to imagine that he might pick up business, and sometimes all it takes is that one offer to kind of get people to be like, Oh, you'd come here? Oh, well, what if you come to Oregon instead of Washington? We'll find out as he picks up an offer from Oregon State does. Houston Westside defensive tackle Jaden Gaines. Let's go to our commit of the week. Our commit of the week, we're going to Round Rock, Central Texas, talk about Round Rock's 2023 defensive tackle themselves, Ansel Nador. Ansel Nador had offers from places like Baylor, Houston, SMU, TCU, and Texas. He has committed to Texas Tech as Joey McGuire's squad pulls in the number 51 prospect on the DCTF Hot 100, right on that cusp of 4-star territory. Here comes Greg Powers to tell you that in any other class he'd be a 4-star.
He's been a 4-star for part of the season already, and that number 51 prospect is like the guy that gives you nightmares, right? Like this is the guy that's like right on the cusp of being a 4-star. Should he be elevated to a 4? I mean, he's a 4-star talent, and you know what? Texas Tech, traditionally, I guess ever since I've covered recruiting in Texas, dating back decades and decades and decades, as Pickle likes to say.
Pepper said it first.
Have you been doing it for 20 years?
20 years. I'm right on the edge of 20 years. Next season will be my 20th Texas high school football season. I think we think of Texas Tech as a offensive recruiting machine, right? I mean, is that how you would categorize really what they do most often in recruiting? Their 3 highest rated commits since Joey McGuire's taken it over have been on the defensive side of the football. And to me, that's an impressive change. And this guy has a chance to possibly be the best of the bunch by the time it's all said and done. He really, truly reminds me a lot of Solomon Thomas. And Solomon Thomas was a 5-star.
Yeah.
Has a lot of the same attributes. A little bit more off of the beaten path. Not saying that Round Rock's not a big program, but Solomon Thomas emerged as a sophomore and was like a 5-star guy before he started his junior season. I think this season could be like an eye opener on the national scale for Nador. He has that same type of skill set, and maybe he is a certain 4-star by the time the dust settles on this recruiting class. He's really good. Uses his hands really well. Good. Quick first step. He's not just a one-trick pony. He seems to really understand the position.
The big guy missed the ball.
He's number 51. He's number 51 in the DCF Hot 100, which means that he would be he's like the top seed in the NIT. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's the first one out of the NCAA tournament. But certainly a guy who's going to be knocking on the 4-star door there is new Texas Tech commit Ansel Nador out of Round Rock. It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers and Next Level Athlete here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation at #TF Today. Let's roll on to our underclassman of the week. Our underclassman of the week is Longview's soon-to-be junior running back Taylor Tatum, who is now up to 21 offers after logging offers from Auburn and Duke. He and a most recent invitee to the 2024 All-American Bowl and one of the newest DCTF 4-stars in the class of 2024.
He's slippery.
Taylor Tatum, a big reason why we're pretty high on Longview this year, and there's plenty to be excited about for this young man.
Yeah, he's the epitome of a running back. Like he's plays low to the ground. He's hard to tackle. He has great vision. And as Pickle said, when you look at him, you don't think slippery, but he is. And he does a lot of different things on the football field. He's not just a guy that you're going to, put in the backfield. You see him there splitting out wide as a receiver in the slot to make a play. And I'm pretty impressed when I saw what he could do on the 7-on-7 circuit as well, because he's a guy who excels in pads, but then to be able to see him go out and run the field and make catches down the field and pull away from defensive backs and do some different kind of stuff really kind of opened my eyes to the type of talent that he truly is. And now he has to look at him playing defense. Like this is a guy who I bet Longview fans love this guy.
Yeah, and the thing is, like at Longview, what's so interesting is at Longview, I think you think big physical running backs. You think like big pounding offensive line, big physical running backs. He's certainly got requisite size, right? 5'10", close to 200 pounds. I mean, there's no saying he's small. But the thing is, I think you don't anticipate having a guy who is that quick-footed and that elusive in the backfield, and that is really what stands out. It's no surprise that Longview has a great running back. It is a surprise that Longview has a great running back who is kind of, I want to say, like in this style of running back. You know what I mean?
And well, I think he's really due for. He had a great year last year, but he's due for a huge year his junior season. And I think 24/7 Sports in their latest rankings update made him the number 11 prospect. So you're talking about. This guy's elite, an elite talent, and those type of guys usually move the needle in Longview. Yeah. And this is a team I think that they're headed for a deep playoff run this year.
We tend to think so too. The number 1 team in 5A Division I with their running back, Taylor Tatum. Let's round it all out with our recruit of the week. Our recruit of the week, going back down to Central Texas, talk about Mainer's 2023 running back Quentin Joyner. Quentin Joyner is verbally committed to UFC. That's not the news. The news this week is that he's accepted an invitation to play at the All-American Bowl in San Antonio on January 7th. This is a guy who ran for nearly 2,500 yards last year, and I think just an excuse to talk about Quentin Joyner and how awesome Quentin Joyner is.
Yeah, no doubt, and it's I feel like when he committed to USC, it was like in the middle of that torrid commitment run that we had, back towards the beginning of the summer into the spring, where we had 10 or 15 commitments every week, and this one might have been overlooked. Quentin Joyner he's a load.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's hard to bring down, has good speed. I think that he fits into that offense really well. And he rushed for almost 2,500 yards and 31 touchdowns, one of the top returning backs in the entire state coming back this year. And gives us a chance here to talk about the All-American Bowl in San Antonio on January 7th, 2023, because I think there's some confusion right now because – a lot of people saw that there was an announcement that the Army All-American Bowl is coming back, and it's in Frisco, I believe, on December 17th,
Correct.
which is the day of the state championship games. Also a great day, as it's my wedding anniversary. Hello, Mrs. Powers.
Great timing there,
Good
bud.
looking out. Good looking out.
Yeah, we've got to get that. Sounds like I'm going to be busy that day. We've got to make sure that we know it's a special day. But the Army All-American Bowl is coming back, and it shouldn't be confused with the All-American Bowl, which dropped the Army tag, I think, 2 years back. The All-American Bowl in San Antonio is still the same All-American Bowl that it always has been. Okay, so the game in San Antonio is the same. The game that's going to be played in Frisco, the Army All-American Bowl, is basically a new game in its first year. So the All-American Bowl was the game that everybody remembers watching on TV since they were young, and does a lot of the same stuff that it always has done. And the Army All-American Bowl in Frisco is going to be a new game. So we got 3 All-American games now.
Yeah, it's an exciting time, and Quentin Joyner will be down in San Antonio there at the All-American Bowl there on January 7th. One guy who also may be down there on January 7th. Are you going down there?
We usually cover the San Antonio sports game as well, which the game that I really like. So, the chances are good.
Is Greg Powers the Next Level Athlete? Follow him on Twitter at GPowersScout. Follow Next Level Athlete on Twitter. Next Level D1. See his fine work on TexasFootball.com/recruiting. And Powers, stick around because we need you to introduce the next segment.
Sounds good.
We're Texas Football Today. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. TexasFootball.com is where you can find complete coverage of high school football, college football, and recruiting all across the Lone Star State. Hope you'll consider becoming a Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber. If you scan that QR code or go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe. 2 magazines, a year's worth of exclusive online content at TexasFootball.com. If you go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe. Let's talk about our friends at Athletes to Athletes. I saw our friends at Athletes to Athletes last night.
Yeah.
And had a lovely conversation about what they've got cooking there at Athletes to Athletes. So allow me to tell you about that right about now. Here we go. Every high school athlete wants to play on the big stage, and every parent wants their child to be the best, as I found my read. But is making your target list of schools based on top 25 rankings really the best strategy? What about academics or location, coaching style, financial aid? There's so many different factors that should be considered when selecting a college program outside of just on-field performance. Our friends at Athletes to Athletes have put together a recruiting guide centered around providing a broader, more holistic perspective about what your college experience could be. It's got checklists, it's got do's and don'ts, it's got key strategies. It's a 22-page guide that covers everything you and your family should know as you walk through your recruiting journey. And for a limited time, Athletes to Athletes is offering this guide for free to our audience. Just go to athletesToAthletes.com/Dave Campbell today to download the free college recruiting guide. That's athletesToAthletes.com/Dave Campbell, or scan that QR code. And now, a word from our friends at VCR Now.
Born and bred in Texas hits a little different, as it should. Texas loves doing business with fellow Texans. VCR Now takes its Texas roots as seriously as its many partnerships with schools and universities around the state. It's also why we're so proud to promote our brand in the pages of the Texas Bible, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and on the airwaves of Texas Football Today. Driven by producing quality broadcast video, state-of-the-art audio, and LED video scoreboards at affordable prices, VCR Now makes sure to listen to your needs
in its athletic department before recommending the next best steps. Building great products is our business, and it's our focus on building meaningful, long-term partnerships with our clients that sets us apart. From our 24/7, 365-day help desk, the training lab in our hometown of Red Oak, or our sports marketing business plan that puts money back in the hands of our athletic departments we support, VCR Now is built to last. Reach out to us today at info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW. Again, that's info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW.
Powers, who'd you talk to this week?
We caught up with assistant head coach also at Mesquite Horn, Larry Wheeler, who's been in the recruiting game for a really long time there. He's been doing this as long as I've been doing this, maybe longer, and he's always had decades and decades and decades. Coach Wheeler's one of the best. He's always a great ambassador for Mesquite Horn talent, and loved having the opportunity to talk to him down at the THSCA Coaches Convention and Coaching School.
Don't get mad at me for being accurate. Here is Greg Powers' conversation with Mesquite Horn recruiting coordinator Larry Wheeler here on Texas Football Talk.
Greg Powers, I'm out here at the 2022 THSCA Coaching School and Coaching Convention, and I'm joined by the man, Larry Wheeler at Mesquite Horn, assistant head coach, recruiting coordinator. Man, we've been after this a long time now.
Yes, sir, we have.
It's crazy. Seems like all the players that we've seen at all the different camps, but you in particular at Mesquite Horn have had the opportunity to coach a lot of talented guys, and underneath the Coach Allen now, I feel like there's like a reinvigoration over there. It seems like the program's like coming back to the prominence that we remember.
Right, that's definitely the goal that we've got right now. Have a really good 2023 class that we're really high on. 4 guys have already committed to FBS schools, and our goal is to have even more in this class. We think it's a really talented class, and we're really looking forward to the guys underneath them down through 2026 guys. We feel like we got a good stretch of kids coming.
As a guy that has to deal with a lot of colleges, having 4 guys that are going on to play at a high level at the next level, how busy are you in the spring? What's it like having all those having all those coaches come through your program?
It's so much fun actually, but it is definitely hectic. There were a couple of days we had over 20-something coaches run through the field house, and that's the fun part of it, though. To me, that's what being a recruiting coordinator is all about. You feel like all the work that you put in before that to help get those guys to want to come to your campus is really paying off.
Now, as far as this class goes, a couple of guys that I really enjoyed talking with at the State 7-on-7 were Jordan Lester and DJ Coleman, and what I found really interesting about them is that they're going on to play for programs that are rivals in college. You have one going to Baylor, one going to TCU, and they're both really special players, really good, but very well spoken.
Yeah, they're just phenomenal kids. Their parents have done a great job with them, and they're just a great representative of our program.
Give us a young guy to watch. I mean, I know you guys got a 2025 offensive tackle over there that everybody's talking about.
Yeah, no doubt. I measured him the other day. He was 6'7", 303 pounds.
What's his name again?
His name is Lamont Rogers.
Lamont Rogers is a name that everybody's going to want to remember.
Yes, sir.
A sleeper. You guys got a sleeper over there in this class that you feel like should be getting a little bit more attention, or some colleges should be on a little bit heavier?
In the 2023 class, we have a young man named Armani Atodi.
Okay.
He played outside linebacker and tight end for us last year, but he's bulked up about 20 pounds. Had the best offseason of any kid we had in the program, and he's going to play inside linebacker, and he looks like a phenomenal player right now. So I'm really looking forward to him putting out some game film in the first few weeks of the season.
A lot of recruiting coordinators, I mean, really it's a job that you have to do in your off hours. You know, it's like a labor of love. Any advice out there for young recruiting coordinators who are just getting started, maybe looking to maybe pattern themselves after some of what you've done over there at Mesquite Horn?
I tell you it's really neat now. We've got another guy that's put in a lot of work. Coach McDonald is coming in from North Crowley. He does a phenomenal job also, so it's kind of neat that we can actually do stuff together, because it's a really tough job for one person.
Yeah.
My suggestion for somebody young that wants to do it is to ask for help, because there are a lot of people willing to help. I don't mind talking to anybody. There's some great guys up in the DFW, guys that have been around DFW that gone off to Lubbock, like Coach Mann over here. Big Coach O, who I've known for many years, there's a bunch of guys willing to help. You just have to seek them out. And I'm not scared to let anybody see what I do, because to me it's all about kids. I don't care whether they're mine or somebody else's. It's about helping kids. That's why we're doing what we're doing.
What's the first piece of advice that you probably give to a student athlete when he comes to you and sits down in your office and says, Coach, I want to play college football? I mean, what's the first thing you tell him?
We pull out their grades.
There you go.
It's number one. And we talk about, we kind of examine the transcript and we tell them what kind of position they are in and if it fits what their goal is athletically. And sometimes you look at a kid and said, right now your pace is you're going to a junior college. And some of them, that's the first time it really hits them in the face, like I really got to get going in the classroom. And other kids, thankfully, our 2023 class has been great with the grades. Guys like Jordan and DJ do a great job. They're taking honors classes, and that's why they're going to places like they're going. It's because they're really successful in the classroom first.
Well, you heard it from the man himself, Coach Wheeler over at Mesquite Horn. You should definitely listen to his advice. Coach, I appreciate your time, and, of course,
Sure.
we'll always be out there supporting all your student athletes that come through the program and all the recruits who are heading on to the next level.
Well, you've done a great job for a bunch of years, so I look forward to us continuing that, seeing how many years we could go.
Appreciate it, Coach.
All right, thanks.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
There is Larry Wheeler, the assistant head coach and recruiting coordinator for Mesquite Horn, joining Greg Powers, this guy, at the THSCA Coaching School and Convention.
Thanks, Coach Wheeler. You won't find a more accommodating human. I mean, he goes above and beyond there at Mesquite Horn to take care of their players. Attention to detail, superb, and always there when his players need him or if somebody in the media needs him. So Larry Wheeler's been a good friend of ours for a long time.
Absolutely, and they've always got dudes at Mesquite Horn. That is for sure, and he will let you know about them. So we appreciate his time a couple of weeks ago. Let's go over to Ashley Pickle for America's second favorite segment. Final thoughts.
We did have a question earlier. Powers, why is there not a bigger recruiting buzz around Philip Gallegos of Somerset? Do you know? Is that a name that you're familiar with?
Let me see if we have him in our next level database, just so I can give some perspective on him.
Because
tackle,
if not,
I'm
maybe
seeing.
someone's putting.
So he's a Rice
notice.
commit.
Yeah, we actually should. We do have him listed. So we have all the Rice commits listed. He's a 2-star. Not a player that I'm super familiar with. I didn't get a chance to watch Somerset, so we'll put him on our radar for this year to see if we can't give some more information and give a good answer there. But I don't have a great answer.
6'6", 300. So you can't miss him.
We actually. Sorry, we do have him in the. I only had 2025s pulled up, so I'd put that as my search filter. Let me read his scouting report.
Okay, hold on. Give me the one shot.
And just to,
we're waiting on Greg Powers. So
yeah, you're not. I got it here, and I want to show something here.
Yeah,
this is the type of detail that we go into for scouting report.
Holy cow!
So, I mean, it's not just like a small thing.
Yeah.
Like there's been a lot of work.
No, and that's on a 2-star player too. I can only imagine what it looks like on a 5-star.
Right. It sounds like the coach is pretty high on him. He's an Ivy League type of kid academically.
So he's got.
So Rice with
he
the
had offers
standards.
from. So he had 4 offers according to 247. One of them was Rice. He's committed there. One of the other ones was Dartmouth. So yeah.
Okay,
so here's
super
what
smart.
here's what our scouting report reads on him: big, long frame, plenty of room to add some weight, not sloppy looking at all, and you can tell he's just learning how to really play with his technique and not just his size. Steps are solid, but doesn't have slow feet. Good arm length. Uses more of his upper body strength for now and needs to focus on playing lower and using his hips and butt to move defenders, not just his length up top. So there you go. There's
so
a little
it sounds
bit.
Like we
there's
need
a
to
little bit behind the scenes on.
You guys think this is a hobby for him? Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
So it just
But
sounds like technique needs to be cleaned up just a little bit.
Yeah, but he's a good player. I mean, obviously he's bringing a lot to the table as an
He's an FBS commit.
student athlete. You know, that's
It's a
big
great
thing
commit for
too.
Rice.
FBS
no
commit
doubt.
heading right now before his junior season or senior season starts. That's pretty darn good. All right. Let's go
The one other thing I want to remind
Pickle.
you that that Republic of Foosball show is coming on at 2,
Yes.
live at 2 wherever you're watching this. So tune in
Republic of Football.
and
2
watch
o'clock.
them mess up our studio.
Yeah, they're gonna move crap around. It's gonna be terrible. It's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Thanks again to Coach Wheeler at Rice for being our guest. Powers, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Next week, it's game week.
It's the start of the season next week. We're going to be busy, but I look forward to it.
For Ashley Pickle, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please meet your Player of the Year trophy. We'll see you tomorrow on Texas Football Today.